Jon Gruden just scored a major W against the league in the Nevada Supreme Court. So grab your popcorn because this legal showdown is juicier than a halftime nacho plate. Let's break it down. All right, here's the quick and dirty. On August 11, 2025, the Nevada Supreme Court, in a 5-2 decision, sided with former Las Vegas Raiders coach Jon Gruden in his lawsuit against the NFL. The court blocked the NFL's attempt to force this case into a hush-hush arbitration, the kind of closed-door meeting where Roger Goodell gets to play judge, jury, and executioner. The court called the NFL's arbitration clause unconscionable, which is legal speak for, that's some shady nonsense. Why? Because letting Goodell arbitrate a case where he's a defendant is like letting a fox guard the henhouse. No thanks. For those who've been living under a rock, let's rewind. Back in 2021, Gruden resigned as Raiders coach after leaked emails from 2011 to 2018 surfaced showing him using racist, misogynistic, and homophobic language. Yikes, not a good look, John. Gruden claims the NFL and Goodell orchestrated these leaks to tank his career, and he's been fighting for a public trial to air it all out. The NFL, meanwhile, wanted this swept under the rug in arbitration. But the Nevada Supreme Court said, nah, let's do this in the open. This is Gruden's second win in Nevada's top court, and it's got the NFL sweating like a rookie in the fourth quarter. I mean, come on, Roger Goodell arbitrating his own lawsuit? That's like me refereeing my own fantasy football league and magically winning every week. Not happening. The court pointed out that Gruden's no longer an NFL employee, so the league's constitution doesn't apply to him. Plus, the NFL's ability to change its rules on a whim? That's some make-it-up-as-you-go energy, and the judges weren't here for it. So what's next for our key players? For Jon Gruden, this is a green light to take his case to a public courtroom, where he can try to prove the NFL and Goodell sabotaged him. He's pushing for damages, saying the leaks cost him his career and endorsements. And get this, he's also eyeing a coaching comeback, maybe even in college football, dropping hints about wanting to coach in the SEC. Gruden's like, I'm not done yet, baby. Meanwhile, he's keeping busy with Barstool Sports, probably roasting the NFL on podcasts. Now, for Roger Goodell and the NFL, it's decision time. They could appeal this to the U.S. Supreme Court, but let's be real, the Supreme Court takes fewer cases than I take naps on Sundays. If they don't appeal, or if the court says no, this case heads to discovery. That means emails, documents, and maybe some dirty laundry getting aired in public. The NFL's got to be nervous because a public trial could expose more than just Gruden's emails. It might shine a light on how the league handles its investigations. Oof, that's a PR nightmare waiting to happen. Gruden's emails were awful. There's no defending that. He said some terrible things, and that's on him. But if the NFL did leak those emails to take him down, that's a dirty move, and they deserve to be called out. A public trial could be a game changer, not just for Gruden, but for how we view the NFL's power plays. My hot take, this whole saga is like a soap opera, and I'm here for every episode. Will Gruden get his redemption arc? Will Goodell squirm in court? I say let it play out in the open. Transparency is the MVP here. But John, maybe hire a PR guy before you send any more emails, all right? Let's talk about that arbitration clause for a sec. The NFL's contract basically said if you sue us, we get to pick the judge, and surprise, it's Roger. That's the next level audacity. It's like me telling my buddy, if we fight, I get to pick the winner, and it's me. The court called it procedurally unconscionable because it's so unsighted it's practically a rigged game. They also noted that the NFL can rewrite its rules whenever it wants, which is like changing the score after the game's over. Gruden's team argued he didn't even see the full contract when he signed on with the Raiders. And the court was like, yeah, that's not cool. This is a huge blow to the NFL's control freak tendencies. So what's next for our star players in this drama? For Jon Gruden, this ruling is like a 50-yard pass to the end zone. He now has a shot to take his case to a public trial where he can try to prove the NFL and Goodell set him up. He's seeking damages for lost income, ruined rep, and those sweet, sweet endorsement deals that vanished faster than my team's playoff hopes. But Gruden's not just sitting on the sidelines. He's been dropping hints about a coaching comeback. Word on the street is he's eyeing college football, maybe even the SEC, where he could bring his fiery energy to a new squad. Picture Gruden yelling Spider 2Y banana at some freshman in Alabama. Oh, and he's keeping busy with Barstool Sports, probably roasting the NFL over a few cold ones on their podcasts. As for Roger Goodell and the NFL, they're in a bit of a pickle. They've got a few plays left. They could try appealing this to the U.S. Supreme Court, but that's a long shot. The Supreme Court takes fewer cases than I take L's in Madden against my cousin. If they don't appeal, or if the big court says pass, this case heads to discovery. That's when the fun starts. Emails, texts, maybe even some NFL internal memos could come to light. Imagine the headlines if we find out the NFL's been playing dirty behind the scenes. It's like opening Pandora's box, but instead of evils, it's full of awkward Goodell emails. The NFL's PR team must be popping antacids like they're Skittles, because a public trial could expose some serious league secrets. All right, Avengers, it's time for my take, and I'm not holding back. Jon Gruden messed up big time with those emails. Let's not sugarcoat it. The stuff he wrote was offensive, period, and he's got to own that. But if the NFL and Goodell did leak those emails to take him out, that's a low blow, and they need to answer for it. The league loves to control the narrative, but this time they're getting called for holding. A public trial could be a game changer, not just for Gruden, but for how we see the NFL's power moves. Imagine the popcorn I'll need when Goodell's on the stand explaining why those emails magically appeared. Transparency is the real MVP here. Gruden's fighting for his name, the NFL's fighting for control, and I'm just here for the chaos. But John, my guy, maybe double check your emails before hitting send next time, alright? And Roger, maybe ease up on the whole "I'm the king of everything" vibe. That's the play, Avengers. Who are you rooting for, Team Gruden or Team NFL? Drop your spicy takes in the comments, hit that like button harder than a linebacker, and subscribe to Athletic Avengers for more sports drama with a side of shade. Oh, and ring that bell so you don't miss our next episode. We're just getting warmed up. Until then, keep avenging the truth.